lot of people call me like that. So I'm living in Salvador, Bahia. I always live here. I just went to São Paulo to work and came back to here because I have strong relationships with my city. And I work for a digital bank called Bax Bank for a while. I don't know, maybe Malaquias and Ricardo give me a new opportunity someday. And it is about it. It's just it.
Nice. Okay, who's missing? Lincoln, our foreigner, please. Do the honors.
Lincoln.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Lincoln. I know some of you guys. Although I'm from Minas, I also do love Bahia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a great place in Brazil that I haven't visited enough, but I'll be back. And let's see what else. I work in tech as well. I'm a software engineer like most of you guys. And I'm Gustavo's brother. And I met some of you because of software engineering too, and because we have some friends in common like Marcus, Jade, and these are just a few of them. And now Guerrinha too, he's getting connected to these like a band. Yeah, that's it for me. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we have here Samuel, man. Where are you? Is you working? I mean, working already? Where is it?
Hi. Good. Meu inglês é meio bem inicial, viu, galera?
Come on.
Go ahead, man.
I am Samuel. I live in Senhor do Bonfim, Bahia. I work at developing web e em PHP, prestando remoto, né? Não sei como é que fala, trabalho remoto para Salvador, uma empresa de Salvador, e estamos aí. Estou aqui tentando entender vocês falando aí para poder pegar alguma coisa. Mas
relax.
É isso aí.
Relax. Guerrinha, I think you didn't introduce yourself.
No, I'm not. So, hello everyone. My name is Guilherme Guerra. Everyone's call me Guerrinha or Little War. I am from Belo Horizonte and I live on Porto Alegre, Rio Grande do Sul. I work on a tech company too. And I know Malaquias from Telegram, Lincoln. We share a house once. And that's it. That's pretty much. I'm so happy to be here right now.
Nice. Thanks for coming. And now we have Lucas Chaves, man. Who are you?
Hello, guys. I'm Lucas. I'm a student in IBMEC College. I have 21 years, and I'm so glad to see you here. I'm new in this class, but I can learn with you while I'm stay here.
Awesome. Where are you from, Lucas?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro.
Yes.
Only carioca here. But I think cool this mix is very locations people.
Nice. Thank you. And Guga,
Okay.
where are you, Guga? Luis Gustavus is our genius, the teenager. or self-teaches himself?
Oh yeah, I'm here. But my camera is not here because my cell phone is charging.
No worries, man. So you guys won't have the privilege to see his face, how young he is, but it's okay. I can describe later.
My name is Luis Gustavo. I live in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais. And I'm studying programming with my brother Lincoln. And we are studying Python. And I started in 2019. And I'm still big in the beginning, but I'm liking this adventure.
Very
That's
nice.
it.
How old are you, Luis Gustavo?
I'm 15.
You see? Impressive.
Nice
I'm a big
man.
fan. Yeah. Yeah, Lincoln. Yeah, you're suspicious.
I started with 17. It's good.
Wow. Seriously, Ricardo?
Yeah, in the Senai course. You're gonna be rich very fast, man.
Awesome. And you started studying when you were 17, but how long until you get, professional?
In 17 too, because the Senai.
Wow.
I started the trainee in the same year.
Wow. So Guga, you're in the right
Lazy,
place.
don't open space to Ricardo. That's why he R7, R7. That's why don't open this space to Ricardo.
He's zero now because I'm fat.
Guys.
He's CR7 because he plays soccer as Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you know this guy?
Yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo. So Ricardo play like Cristiano Ronaldo. It's a mix of Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi.
And how about his bank account? Is the same? So he should sponsor all of us.
Unfortunately, no, because if it was, I will be married with him.
My account is the same, like just in the homologate environment.
That's the best thing about working in a bank, right? You can pretend to be a millionaire at least in the dev environment.
Yeah.
Guys, now talking about the topic of our first gathering, I know that you guys use a lot of agile methodologies and technology, and so we have professionals in different levels, you guys in different how can I say that? Working for different companies in different levels and doing different things in the same area, which is very diverse. And we are here in Brazil now, we are in a boom. Here in Santa Catarina, although I'm from Salvador, but I live in Santa Catarina in the great Florianopolis area, there is a shortage of workforce in this area that they are sponsoring and promoting a lot of courses for especially teenagers like Luis Gustavo, and women as well, girls, to start in this area because they want to actually there has been an exportation while Lincoln is living abroad. For how long you living abroad, Lincoln, now?
Almost 10 years.
You see? Yeah, so we're losing workforce. So what is the importance of these methodology, agile methodologies in your area, and how do you guys use it? It's an open question. Feel free to answer whoever wants to. You gotta say something.
No, what?
We use
Ricardo is the tech lead. Ricardo tells
we use
everybody.
actually he, but we use it wrong.
Do you know someone who use correctly? in the world.
But
right?
is very very incorrect. I just uh, ask for change our coach edu because that, and the new coach just another people with another agile another agile in our squad, and it's very better, but it's still wrong because is a very big company, and change is very painful
Mhm.
like that. But it is like I need I need the devs will understand we need promote featuring in production environment, and we need go to I I I I think I 12 highest. How I say highest in English?
I don't know what you're talking about. So someone who can help, please feel free.
I like a higher of simple. It's 12 steps in the Jira, and any activity is 12 steps in the Jira. And don't mind and don't mind if the activity is technical, business, or just pop.
So you said Gira. What is
Yeah.
Gira?
It's a platform. It's like Trello, something like that. It's from the same company. And we have a friend, a Baiano guy that's working to the Gira. We can
Yeah.
call it to have talk sometime. That would be great. I forgot about him. Oh, fuck.
So
Yeah.
Gira is a platform. For what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a platform.
Very,
A
It's,
very.
devil platform
Yeah, like that.
yeah. You,
created by the devil and the
Yeah,
little
it's a platform, and every company is different.
Ah, but the funny fact is that all of you guys use it. It doesn't matter regardless
yeah.
the company. No, Guerrinha doesn't use it.
no.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
I think that's the funny thing.
It's a joke, okay?
Yeah,
We have a
it's
joke
very
here.
funny because I'm very curious to see when you ask how you use agile methodology on our companies. I'm very curious because it's very different for each company you go. But there is a common things like Jira is the first platform if you have a big company and you are very waterfall and you want to make people feel they are agile, they put Jira. So that's if you use Jira, probably you heard like Ricardo said, I use agile, but with something wrong and not the best way. And Jira is, in my point of view, it's one of the reasons why agile is not the best form, because sometimes, like he said, it's 12 steps to make a deploy. Maybe that's not the most agile thing to do.
So how do you spell
Yeah.
Gira?
I put
J-I-R-A.
Okay. Okay, I saw it. Thank you, Marquis. Thank you, Guerrinha. I see. And when you guys say that you don't use it correctly, the agile methodology, what do you mean by that?
It's difficult to input agile in all the company because sometimes your team is agile, but another team is not. Like you have ongoing team, something like that, that it's doing some monitor in the environment, and they cannot be agile because they are in the war every time. So how you gonna be agile with that thing, you know. I need pass some tasks today, but they do not use the same flow as I. That's the problem. So no one is agile in every steps of the company. The product team that learn about the users or something like that to create new things cannot be agile as our, or the design team. They are creative team, so they not can put, oh, I'm doing this task and I gonna pass here, pass today, pass. It's not like that, you know.
Yeah, I think the culture is too is something important because some people it's just the culture of the schedule a delivery a fit a delivery agendar how I say agendar uma entrega is that
Scheduler.
sorry can you repeat can you repeat please?
Scheduler deployment.
Yeah, schedule deployments like that, and the like he in Italy is very bureaucratic, and we estimate like 12 days, and we just do that in 3 months because we depend some other thing. It's a wow. It's a fight every day for do all job like that.
Let's see. Guys, one question I have to check. Is it agile? I'm saying agile, but is it agile or agile? Let me check. You guys that work with that, what's the correct pronunciation?
Lá no trabalho é ágil.
No, but yeah, in Portuguese we would say agile, right? But in English, let's see.
Lincoln, how do you say that?
Agile. Agile.
I don't think we say that very much at work because we don't use agile. But I don't know. I heard both ways: agile.
Agile. I'm checking the dictionary.
Sorry, Lincoln.
I think that agile makes more sense than agile.
Yeah, I just checked agile.
Yeah, agile is like us here in Brazil in our new idiom because the word, the enterprise word, we have a new idiom that is a mix up between Portuguese and English. People say things like, by the way, in the middle of the phrase, and you think, what? What these people are saying, by the way? There is no sense to say things like that. And now people are saying part of the dialogue in English, part of the dialogue in Portuguese, and people are getting crazy. About Jira, I think personally that the problem is not a tool. Jira is just a tool. The problem is always the person behind the Jira, because people think that you just put Jira in the problem about control and management will be fixed because of the tool. But Jira or Excel or some other software to have control about project management don't save the bad management. I think the most of part of our problem as an engineer is because people who manage us, usually they don't know what kind of activity they are managing, because the manager usually are the people who never work as engineers, so they don't understand what we do. So because of that, it's hard to them understand all the process, think about in a fluid process with each steps. There are some companies that they have technical guys in front of the managed process, so this works a little bit better. But I think that when you have a kind of technical team, sometimes they have a lot of freedom. So became a mess to people who are responsible to do the management process, because imagine that each part of the company has their own process. How you summarize the numbers? Because imagine we sometimes as engineer, we forget that companies are about business, and the business are managed by numbers, and numbers make money. So we need a way to justify to investors, stakeholders, sponsors, what we do about our production. So I think that there are a middle way between no management and all the process management. But this is, oh, just forget because my dog is a devil and
I can
he's
hear that.
create a mess here. All the family make noise. So and personally, I don't believe that any tool has the responsibility about unsuccessful process. I think is always part of the guilty is from the managers or the team that they don't understand what they should do. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if I talk so long.
No, it's perfect. Very nice. And you mentioned something that I usually talk about with Guerrinha, the abstract aspect of your profession, because you have to create out of something that is not tangible, you cannot touch, you cannot see at first. And how do you manage all the activities for something that doesn't exist? It's still here in this field, abstract field of your thoughts. And I'm fascinated by that. And Guerrinha always talks about it. Right, Guerrinha?
Oh yeah. There is another thing. I think Antonio speak perfectly. The problem with agile is because the company need to be agile or agile, and it's very difficult to find people on the top of the company that believe and know how to use agile. So because people, how people sell and buy software is this, the people that hire a company to develop a software is the same people that buy toilet paper, and they buy with the same methodology. They ask 3 companies, and the cheapest they hire. It's very common. And software is different from milk that and other products that you if you build a lot will be cheaper. Software, if you build a lot of software, you build more expensive, right? So it's very hard to people on the top of the company change the way they think and the way they do things. So it's very hard to work with agile in most companies. So it's very common. We have this ant pattern called water scrum fall, because we have the company start with waterfall, the tech team is agile like Scrum, and the rest is waterfall again. So it's very hard. And how, as Antonio said, it's because the numbers, it's very hard you sell agile software, because many people see agile software, a proposal for agile software, like a blank check. I don't know how to say check in English.
I'll let you guys help each other, but
Check is check, you know. Check.
I think, yeah, it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. So for some managers, they see agile like many young consultants. They see agile projects like a blank check that will always increase the amount of money. But the way companies work with the budget, it's very straightforward. So it's very hard to mix the both of us. The both. methodologies.
Okay, now I'm curious, which is the topic of our meeting. You guys said that you have like a brief meeting, usually at the beginning of your day, to talk about what you did, what you're gonna do, and what are the impediments, things that can go wrong, and in your work. And so how does this work at your company? And can you guys talk about a little bit on the projects that you're working on? What is it for? Of course, if you can disclose, because you work for, you know, companies, and I don't know if you can talk about the projects, but give an example.
Yeah, no problem. In here in Itaú, we work with a bank as a service product, and we in the start, it's very difficult to do that here because we just skip some security step in here in Itaú for that product, and we just deliver these products like a payment account, Pix, TED Doc, credit services, and the in the future security service. How I say seguro in English? Like the product.
Insurance.
Insurance, investments, things like that. And that products in Itaú is only for Itaú clients. For another clients of another we just able another companies to be a bank, and for Itaú we need change every ecosystem. I think that for it turn the process as secure for everyone, for every product and very client. It's very difficult to do here because the security is that.
I don't know what should do the structure about that, but I have proposed to all of us make some kind of small comments. What do you think about the movement? That company that they are kind of play lunch, that they are promoting things like, oh, you can work here because here we have freedom to do what we do in the way that you think that is better or not. For example, you have a company that the base code is completely in Kotlin or Java, I don't know, and just a guy start to say, oh no, Golang is a good language, is a new hype, so let's start to use Go. And the other guys say, no, we should use Elixir. So company has a very multiple environments based code, and they have a process to deal with all of kind of different platform and different knowledge. So they have a lot of structure to deal with that. But 2 months later, these guys left the company, and the legacy is a lot of had a lot of pain process, because the people who decide to use some technology just left the company. And now companies are kind of a very painful process to discover how to deal with the legacy of new hypes, for example. I've heard some place like that, and I already work in a place that I forced to migrate from a hype technology for a default platform. What do you think about these? How do you think that we need to deal with that? Because I think that to choose a language is just a detail because we need to deliver the business is running, money is what the world is about it. The company just exists because they need to get money, to pay money. So if you spend a lot of time decide who is the most beautiful language, the company is losing the time, lose the opportunity to make more money. And this creates a kind of uh, um, question that people decide to move for that kind of company. I already know a guy that say, no, I go to this company because there you decide what you should do. And they say, what? And how the company deal with that? And it's someplace like that that people just left the company and left the problem behind too. What do you think about that? I don't know if I'm clear or not. If I'm not, I suggest another person put another question.
I understand. To me, it's not a problem because I not af- I like learn new language, but here in Itaú we very limited to do some language. But now with the movement to migrate to AWS, we just trying to do this with the lambda functions, and now the people just do some things in Node, in Python. I think it's important because the some things very cheaper than others, and I think the effort is okay, but in in the processing, like my team, we just developing Kotlin, for example, because it's uh, a whole of the company. It's a Kotlin or Java for microservices, things like that. And when we go to a full AWS solution, and we have a more how I say more options. We have more options. Uh, I think I think the effort is valid for to that.
Okay.
To me, it's a problem. I like this type of rules to avoid use so much language, because the problem in our environment, it's people pass too fast from the company, you know. I can invite Guerrinha to my team. I don't know, he will work for 2 3 months, 6 months, 1 year in the limits, and go to another job. And how will be my project with that, you know? So Guerrinha come to my team and do something with Elixir. No one know that shit, just he, and he go to another opportunity. So now we are fucking something like that, you know. So I like that, have some rules to and partners like you don't have, you know. You can use Java, you can use Kotlin. We have some frameworks that you can use here. But if you want, you can do some experiment and offer to the bank that new technology, and of course explain why you can use that, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the way, because sometimes we will have Java, Kotlin, Python, Go, Elixir, Rusty, I don't know, Crystal, Lua. Everybody loves one technology, you know? JavaScript, TypeScript. Yeah, that's it.
Everybody's so many people because I just live real or dollar or euro. I don't I don't like language. I like money.
Yeah. And about migration to AWS makes sense. The movement that the bank is doing right now, because the bank wants is want have infrastructure to that cost letters. So yeah, I can put my cost or my service in AWS because of that. We our forget about something. Okay, I create a new platform here, but how much this will expect to the company? You know, it's not just the service. It's not the it's not just the computer, but we need to have people to maintain that thing. This is a problem.
Yeah, about the movement to AWS, the Itaú has a data center like Google or Facebook is one of the biggest in the world, and is uh, very expensive, and the movement to AWS is because that they just migrate everything for the cloud. It's more secure and more um, um, less painful.
Guys, I have a question. I like this kind of meetings because they are very organic and fluid. We go from one point to another, from 0 to 100, and it's fascinating. But let's take the advantage of having someone working abroad for a foreign company here. And I want to ask Lincoln to shed some light on how much English do you need to work abroad and to start job applications, for foreign companies, and how was your beginning? Were you already fluent? Were you proficient when you started working abroad? So please give us some hope and shed some light on this process, because everybody's always trying to get to make money in euros or dollars. That's the perfect scenario living in Brazil.
Yeah, it is a complicated matter. I before I moved here, I spoke English already. It wasn't great, but um, I try to force myself to always go to conferences, to always talk to people that there was like that. That's one of the reasons that I joke that Guerrinha lives in Porto Alegre, was because we needed to get to know more people in our area and to speak with more people. And we went to the forum that we used to have in Porto Alegre. I don't know how many times, to be honest. We spent our youth going to events, and every time there was like someone from outside, it was wild because I met Guerrinha, just a little tangent here. I was trying to throw an event in a university in BH, and there was not enough people to attend to the event. There were teachers, there were like people to give the talks, but there was no people to watch the talk. And it was within a university, and I just started like knocking in everyone's doors and to announce the event. And after I announced the event in Guerrinha's class, he was like, "I'm done with this." He put his backpack on his back, and he's like, "I'm going with you. Let's you take this side of the hallway, I take this side." And in that event, for example, there were like 3 international speakers. So we kind of like had to babysit them, and it was very helpful because like someone is visiting your city, you have to drive them around, you have to like get them like food and all that stuff. And meanwhile, like the person is like trying to make sense of what you're talking about. But yeah, it was a lot of English tangentially. But then when I moved to the US, I still think I didn't speak perfect English. Like I honestly could only talk about computers, And like, it's funny, like I am vegetarian and I still don't know how to order meat. I cannot like go to a place and say, oh, rare, medium rare, that kind of thing. I have no idea. I'm like, I don't eat meat, so I don't have to know about that. But it was very, very challenging for me. It was especially the interpersonal relationships and dealing with like non-technical things that was challenging. Computers are computers wherever you are, right? You can say like Regis instead of Redis, but it works the same way. But when it comes to like people, they do not work the same way. Americans are very different. The cultural aspect is so annoying.
These what you just said, about because people, when they start to apply for jobs, international jobs, they focus on the tech part and say, oh, I need to practice my tech vocab or business English. But I mean, the language is language. You need to speak general English in order to express yourself and have your daily life, because once you move, you're not just working, and you need to communicate with people inside of the company in different levels, communicate to different aspects of the job, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I have to say that I hate, and I'm finally like understanding that exists. If like a Brazilian is writing their resume and they're like, I built Rome. Yes, it was hard. There was help of a lot of people, but I built Rome. If someone from the US is writing about the fact they built Rome, they will say, I built the best city in the world. It's just like anything that is written here. Like I was getting like some pancakes and we bought some maple syrup. The maple syrup was like, the label said it is the best maple syrup in the world. If you build something here, you can say it's the best one in the world, that you are the best one in the face of earth. People here that are just like outside their graduation, they have 0 minutes of experience. They will write stuff that is like, I don't know if I can just be that nice to myself. This is something I've been trying to like improve a lot. Like Brazilians sometimes, especially developers that I have some exposure to, like we don't talk about the things we did. One thing that I have to do like constantly is to write about things I did, because nobody pays attention to what you're doing. You have to be the one advertising what you're doing the whole time. It is so tiring, but that's one of the things. If you build something, this is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I think it's part of our culture, and we are self-constrained. We don't talk about our improvements and our achievements as if it was something bad to talk about. On the other hand, foreigners, they are always advertising themselves and talking about the things they have accomplished. I think it's awesome. We needed to learn how to do that, self-promote ourselves.
It's not easy, and I joke a lot with Marcos and Jader that it is the pedigree of favelado, because we don't really have, like, just I don't know many people that studied in Ivy League schools. I don't know many people that worked in like the biggest companies. And I here it's funny because you're like, oh, I'm gonna apply to an interview, I'll study very hard to the test. Things here work by introductions. If you're interested in a job, you can apply, you can do the form thing, but you have 80% less chance than people that are being introduced by someone that works in the company. So that's a thing that I'm like, oh no, I'll study very hard, I'll get it by myself. Nobody does that besides people that have like this self-constraint in their emotions and so forth. It's very sad.
So you need to be
on point,
referred.
Lincoln, Marcos is not from favela. He's from rich neighborhood.
Come on, man. You're talking about someone that is not even here to defend himself.
It's because Malakia is from the rich neighborhood in Salvador, and Marcos too. And
Brothers.
he
Is that
no,
right? Nowhere.
Malakia is from
No, I
what?
Alto
was
de Piatã.
in
Alto de
Piatã.
Piatã. Alto
Yeah.
da burguesia de Piatã.
Yeah, And Marcos saying a party he's from favela, but he's not.
But Marcos is a very good example. I always talk about him, even though he's not here. Here I am talking about him again, because he learned when he started to study with us. He went from zero, actually, I would say minus English, to the level of English that he has now. Of course, we as foreigner speakers of English as a second language, we will never speak perfectly. We always speak with accent. We always will speak with some constraints and limitations, but it's okay as long as we make ourselves clear. But anyways, he was able to evolve to a point to negotiate salary, where he would work, the kind of job he would do. And now he's moving. Next month, he's moving to Canada, Vancouver, living in a very nice neighborhood. Now, yes, in a reach for us that living in Brazil, but I mean, he's a successful case that I always talk about him to everybody. O pivete é barril dobrado.
It is funny. Like I can say that like Marcos for me is like the example of the word kung fu. It's consistency, but increasing difficulty.
True. Yeah, he's a very good example.
Yeah, I listen up what Lincoln said, and I was thinking about that our culture here in Brazil is the opposite, because here, if we talk about what we do, sounds as we are kind of, I don't know the word, but here is like tirado a or metido. For example, if I know Lincoln and I say, oh, Lincoln, hello, do you work with IT? Oh, I'm working with IT too. So I start to talk, Lincoln, I made a framework that do this stuff, it worked like that. And the first impression that you have, oh, this guy would like to show up himself. But in the other side, we are conditioned to be more silent about we do here because of this kind of culture. But it's very interesting to know that if we do something relevant, we should to talk about that clearly, included maybe in LinkedIn. For example, there are aspects called projects that sometimes should be interesting to explain about what kind of project you do, not inside of the company because of contracts restriction probably, but personal project that you probably have should be interesting to put there. Is it right? The understanding?
That's what I think, and to be honest, I am working very hard to be as far as possible that I can from people that like shoot any ideas down. Guerrinha and I we've been friends for years, and I think like we have this dynamic where one pushes the other one to do better, to like talk about things that we're doing to improve ourselves. And because of the free software thing, because of the free software experience, I think like most people I had in Brazil when I was like becoming a software engineer, they had the same mindset. It was the people that were organizing events, it was the people that were doing talks. And if someone felt uncomfortable sharing their thing, we would try to make them more comfortable sharing their thing, because it's good. Like if I just want to learn and you're teaching something, like as someone that wants to learn, I will be interested. If I'm not interested, like it's on me. It's not on the person that wants to share knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Just Lucas has to go. Before he goes, let's just take a picture. Let me take a print screen, please, of everybody here. If you guys feel comfortable, open your camera, it's okay. If not, it's okay as well. Just to register this first encounter, which is very special. So put your beautiful faces, smile.
Oh, I will need to buy another one.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Now let me find the button. One more, because I was not looking. Hold on. Guys, on MacBook, it's Shift Command 3, right? Okay.
Okay.
It's fine like this. Thank you.
I don't know, and I don't have a
I
MacBook.
need to left because it will start a meeting now. My
Yes,
job.
I know you guys have your lives to live, but for those who are leaving, thank you very much for joining. If you have time, if you guys want to continue here, it's a big value at Mind Idioms to put people together, you know, to connect, to have this kind of networking, to see other people being successful in the job that they have chosen, doing what they like, and especially improving our Englishes, which is very good. And we hope, I personally hope you guys develop like different apps, sell to big companies, be billionaires, and remember about us when you guys are very rich. Remember about the English teacher. Oh, so let me, you know, say hello to her that is still in Brazil. But yeah, so bye-bye for those who are leaving. Thank you very much for joining.
I'm not leaving anymore.
Your meeting was canceled.
No, I negotiate with the
He's
other.
the boys. He's the boys.
No. I negotiated with the other guys to follow it without me.
Okay, so now let's go for the specific topic of the meeting that we've been talking a lot, but we didn't. About the projects that you guys working on. So what is the language you need to use? What kind of English? Do you guys use English to develop your activities at work? No, except from Lincoln.
we use a kind of English here because we just need some business a mix of English and Portuguese because the name of the thing is
Yeah. In the bank, this is a problem, no, Ricardo, because we have both in the same time. You're gonna use the English and Portuguese to describe the same thing or write the same code. In my team, this is a problem because someone prefer to use English to code and another person prefer to use Portuguese. So in the same project, I have both. Yeah, it is a mess.
We use only English, but our piece is in Portuguese because it's mandatory for it. But we have some words like Receita Federal. It starts Receita Federal. It's not 10. It's not another name to that. But some things we translate.
This is interesting because proper name we don't have to change. Actually, it's a proper name. You do not translate name, so you should use the name as it is. You know, like Receita Federal is Receita Federal. It's a foreigner comes here, they are not going to find the name translated. They will only see the name in Portuguese.
Yeah, I understand. It's strange, but in my career start, I do some things like
translation.
Get some methods like get variable or things like that is very strange to do because the reserved words of any language is English, and when we mix that, it's very strange, very very funny sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, and how about the job, guys? What you working on?
Wait, Guerra, do you have something like that too? Portuguese and English in the same project?
No, I don't. Because today I work with the client I work with is from New York, so the entire communication is in English. All my meetings
are you working for Lincoln or not? Lincoln has a contract.
Unfortunately, no. Okay. No, unfortunately not. I work on a company from Porto Alegre, but all the clients are from New York or United States. So,
Nice.
and I don't work as a software developer today. I work more like my job title is client CTO, but we work with non-technical founders. My main job is understand the raw idea that a client have and how to make this idea possible in a tech perspective point of view. And I don't know if you guys know the shape up methodology from Basecamp, but basically the client, we set an appetite. It's like I want to build a feature in 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and I said to him, we can do that. We can't. So, or we can, but we need to take off this, and make in this way. Oh, works for me. So, and I shape idea to fit on an appetite. That's my main job. So I use English a lot.
Here's the boss.
Yeah.
I love the analogy. So you shape
Yeah.
the idea to feed an appetite or to feed the appetite. What did you say?
To fit.
To feed.
Appetite. It's not my analogy, it's the methodology. It's a shape up.
Oh, really? Mm.
Yeah. It's let me send a link. There's a book, free and online book.
Awesome.
And you can learn shape up. You can shape everything. It's not only software. And so it's great if you want to make another thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So about mix English and the Portuguese, me and Lincoln have a funny situation because we work together on a governor stuff. So it's we always talking about if we should write in Portuguese or in English because it's an open source software, so everyone should contribute. But we build with Brazilian money, public money. So how we should build a public software with public money, but in English, like it's not ethical, right? So unfortunately, I think we never stressed this idea a lot, and the time was very. We have a lot of pressure, so we just did in a way we think is better. But it's a very hard thing to discuss. I think we need time to discuss and make a pattern and think the consequence, the trade-offs. So it's very important to discuss this.
Yeah, I don't know if there is the correct way to do this, because in the China, I believe they are not using English, So, but it's strange to, you go to a code, or you can see that, oh, these people write in English, so how they think. And when you go to another project, it's in Portuguese, they might change. It's low to happen, it's more low to adapt to a new project because it's ambiguous, something like that.
You make me think of another feeling that I have towards English. It's funny. I was writing code for a company that had a factory in Shenzhen, mainland China. and there was a whole lot of Chinese characters in the comments, and it was pretty wild. It was neither Chinese nor English, and I think there may be some level of struggle in that side of the world when it comes to accessing information too. But nowadays, there are more machine learning and artificial intelligence articles coming out in Mandarin than in English. So there is some conversation there about, you know, how how powerful a culture can be, and defining technology is certainly very powerful. And you know, like English for me, like our researchers, like I am reading a bibliography of PUC RJ. Our guys, 100% in English. 100% of the bibliography is in English.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was talking to a journalist, and there is a starting movement, especially in humans area like journalism, tourism, and areas like this, because we have a lot of sponsorship for projects, organizations, to fund the projects. But we have to translate the whole project into English for issues that we live in Brazil to get sponsorship from abroad. But it's a problem because most of the people who apply for the sponsorship, they apply because they needed the money, but they don't have the language. So they are outside, you know, so they do not benefit from the sponsorships and for the money to continue their research, to improve the community because of that. So there is this movement. So if it's something refer to a local issue, you know, or to a specific country, so the sponsorship should be, the people who would apply for the sponsorship should be able to apply on their own language, because they don't have not the money to translate, not the time, you know, to do that, because usually the timeline and the due dates are very tight. So how are they going to do that? And yes, not only technology, I can only imagine you guys coding in different languages. How does that work, and how to merge projects? Everybody's nodding.
Sorry,
Yeah.
the question is how to handle so much due dates and stuff like that.
No. I was just mentioning a different example, you know, in my area, in linguistics and journalism, that there are a lot of sponsorships, but we needed to apply in English. It's okay for me, and an English teacher, I have the knowledge, but there are many people, for instance, Latin and Portuguese, something, blah, blah, blah. So why do I have to translate into English to apply for this scholarship or sponsorship if it's something, you know, that it's not going to benefit any society, any community that speaks English? But the sponsorship is in dollar or euros, you know.
Fortunately or unfortunately, English is a common language, right? So yeah, it's the most close you have. It's the closest thing to Esperanto, right? The idea from Esperanto. So yeah, don't make sense in a lot of cases like that, but
yeah, it's the academic and the business and the technology language, and this is something very strong in my area in linguistics, that most of the better paid professionals, they do not have the degree or the qualification in the area, but just because of the fact that they are native speakers, you know, as if they own the language, they are better paid. And there's also something critical, which is for every, I don't know if this number has changed, but once I wrote about it, in a paper I wrote, that for every native speaker, there would be 4 non-native speakers for English. So the game is different. It's the other way around. They needed to understand the Brazilian is speaking English, not only a Brazilian, but a Baiana is speaking English. a Chinese guy with a Baiana and a German guy with only one, let's say, a Jamaican. Because this is another thing that native English, they refer only to either American or British English. And people forget about all other native Englishes that we have.
That's crazy.
I have series of jokes about like British and Americans, but my favorite is about food. Whenever we have English breakfast, I call it the colonizer breakfast, because the British folks have given more Independence Days to the world than anything else, right?
Yeah, very good, very good. As Liza is speaking, I'm starting to think like it's crazy, because if you know English, you can talk with a lot of people in a lot of places, right? But if you learn Italian, you just can speak Italian on Italy, right? But French, you can speak in a lot of places. Spanish, you can speak a lot of places. Portuguese, you can speak in Portugal, you can speak in some countries on Africa, you can speak in Macau, on China, but some language you only can speak in the country. That's it's crazy, right? Because for us it's not the same. Like it's hard to understand from some people from Portugal, Angola, but you can understand, if you're a little bit of dedication, you can understand. But with other language, you're stuck in your country, right?
In
It's
Portugal,
crazy.
we use Portuguese from here, but with we need to be careful with some words, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because some words it's we don't think like moça. When you call, oh, moça, can you, moça to some people in Portugal is very offensive. It's crazy. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they call the moças as rapariga.
yeah, it's very
For
offensive here, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I listen a player. I don't remember. I think he's Amaral. He says in Portugal he asked for a Durex for uh, some woman, and the woman screamed it to him because Durex is the condom in Portugal. He don't understand that.
It's crazy. It's in some places in Europe, condoms means Durex means condom. My brother lives in Spain. I can say Durex close to my nephew. Because condom's not the right time to understand what it is. So yeah.
This is funny. You guys talking about Durex. I have a friend from Salvador. He lives in Portugal for I guess 20 years now, and he's also from technology. And he was another friend from Salvador was moving. That's interesting. Gas and technology developers, but it was in the 90s, late 90s when they moved to Lisbon. Anyway, so this friend of mine who moved first, because of this other friend who was moving to share an apartment with him, he had to change apartments to move to a different apartment. So he went to a bookstore, or a convenience store actually, to buy a tape to close some boxes. And he said, oh, I need Durex largo, de 4 dedos. And the woman was horrified because, senor, you cannot find this thing here. We do not sell that. And especially a large one. And she was looking at Alexandre, and Alexandre was like this. Nowadays he's a little bit chubby, but he was, thin, so thin, and the woman was horrified.
That's crazy. It's very easy you find in trouble in Portugal. It's crazy. And they are very literal. So I passed to a situation like, do you have a flash drive with 8 gigas? They say yes. Can you give me one? No, I haven't.
Because he said
But
yes
exists
for the existence.
For the existence. Oh, thank you, guys. So, yeah, it's it's a weird place, but it's a great one.
Yeah. Okay, so we haven't heard Luis Gustavo to talk about Google, only if you feel comfortable, okay? I tend to push sometimes, but if you feel comfortable to tell us about the app that you are developing. He's developing an app.
Yeah, right. Lincoln is helping me to develop. We are trying to make a chat in the language Python, and I like I am stuck. I don't know if it's correct. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on in a bug, but I think I'm gonna find the where is the error. But it's been so good to learn more, and like it's about, I don't know, the network, right, Lincoln? And we it's helping me so much, and because it's helped to understand how networks work, um and how I can explain. I know it's hard to explain. But
You're doing fine, Google. Just go ahead. So what kind of problem are you facing with your app? Where are you stuck, and why do you think it's a problem?
I'm stuck on a bug that my message is not arriving to the server of my app, and I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to find it, but I'm still trying. But Lincoln, we're gonna. I think he will help me.
Enjoy that, Google, because when you are in a big company, the hitch the server, it's a long it's a long history, because I in 3 months we just going the each server, and we discovered because in the finals, because they needed put some ideas of our account in his policies, and we spent 3 months in that. In only app, it's very more easy. It's normal. Enjoy
Yeah.
that, because how I say, só piora.
It only gets worse.
Yeah,
The
I'm gonna.
market you, the
It,
market you, we're gonna pay you to resolve bugs, man. You're gonna create bug, and the market gonna pay you to resolve the bug you create. You know, that's how we maintain our jobs. Okay.
Oh man.
We resolve problems, we create problems.
That's
We
nice.
demand that.
This
Google.
is, oh, sorry.
Ah. No, I want to ask you what the biggest challenge you find out on while you develop your app.
uh, yeah, the biggest problem is the communication with the server and the client, and have this communication like with more than one client at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was using threading. Lincoln was teaching me about threading, to handle with a lot of clients. But I'm still trying to to learn because it's hard.
And what the most funny or something give you joy while you develop the app? The most joyful thing?
Um, like I like it to study when I started. Yeah, trading I liked it, but it's getting harder. But when I started to understand, it was very it was very like I felt very happy because I was not understanding anything. So when I understood a little bit more, I felt very happy and like have the like think about what's working. It's like I don't know how to explain, but know what's working. It's very good. Like, but I'm still stuck on a bug where I can't find the bug. I was trying to find like, but a lot of prints of messages, but I was not finding the bug. But that's it. I'm gonna try again.
Very nice, man.
Resilient. Yeah, so what do you suggest for Luis Gustavo when you face a bug like this? Is there like a methodology or a step-by-step to take in order to solve and find the bug?
Go play FIFA or not a thing.
Yeah.
Do another thing. Don't try
Yeah.
to resolve the bug and come back after that. You know.
When you it's a long time in the same bug, we it's we generally I will talk with another people, and I found the answer just talking with the that people. It's generally that.
Sorry, Ricardo.
Go.
I have a rule about time. If you take more than 20 minutes in the same place, there is something wrong. Mainly when you are in the beginning, because probably what you are doing, there are some person that probably can help fastly to directly or send some advice you about that. So if you take 20 minutes without any evolutions, ask help in, for your tutor or for your friends. Because if you are in the beginning, it's very no common. You stuck in a lot of place. If it makes you more comfortable, I stuck every day.
Everyone here.
I started the
Don't
stuck
feel
in
bad.
a
It's part
bug.
of your life as a developer.
Yeah.
And
But
yeah, listening good music, stand up, and you make some, take some food, drink, or maybe some medicine. I'm just joking, man. Take
Uh,
help from the nature. Sometimes help, but ask for God.
He's
But
just
before,
14, man. Oh, 15. He's only 15.
oh, 15, man, forget about the nature, man. When you have 18, I told you about what is ask for nature.
I
But
think
it's very
every
common, man. It's very common.
the guys give very good tips. I will add one new. It's a technique called the rubber duck debugging. Is basically you pick a rubber duck or a toy. Anything can be a bottle if you want, but you start to explain the problem. Not the problem, but what you're trying to do to this thing, and the process to explain. Sometimes you figure out what is the problem. So
yeah.
because there is a pyramid, like how we learn. The biggest way, the better way to learn is teaching someone. So the rubber duck is a way to get faster.
Yeah, that's why I have my Venusaur here all the time.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. So, but what Malakia said to not get deep on the bug, go play something or do something else, it's very important too.
Yeah. Two lessons for you. I do that when I start. Teach someone. Read another code. It's very good, and write code. It's the everything to resolve problems. I read a lot of codes, and a lot of codes I don't understand anything because I very fresh in. I get code from like uh, how I say open source projects very difficult, and I just read for understand some things, not the overall, but it's very good. At least you just know how don't you can do the code. I think that it's very good. And write code for don't you write code every time, but you just go to Stack Overflow to do basic things because you don't remember. Like if I need do some basic thing like read a file today, I go to the Google to remember like things like that. It's it's funny, but I don't know, but I don't remember the steps.
Yeah, and we were, Luis Gustavo and I were talking about, we had class on Monday, and one of the topics of the class was explaining points. And sometimes when we don't have much vocabulary, especially adults, not in the case of Luis Gustavo, but we were practicing that, we get stuck in some words because we want that exact word that we have in Portuguese, and we want to express the idea the same way, the fluent way that we express in Portuguese, but it doesn't work that well in English. So one of the things that we were talking and we were practicing is explain what you know how to explain, and stick to one or two details and give examples of that details. And that's what we were practicing on Monday because especially because the other person who is listening to you has no idea what you're going to talk about. So you want the information. So anything that you say will be something new for the other person because they literally do not know what you're going to talk about. And especially when we are studying another language, this is very important to stick to what you know and be specific, give details and exemplify. This way you will sound much more fluent and natural in the other language. So don't try to look for, big words, just to stick to simple, go simple and make yourself clear this way, especially by giving example. So Guga, one last challenge for you. Would you please give us one example of this app that you were working on? You explained that it's a network, the chat's a network, something like this, because I always ask him to tell me what he's working on in English. And obviously I don't understand. I understand the words in English, but I don't understand what he's talking about. So I just put on a big face and pretend that things make sense for me, but they don't. But now the guys, they are going to understand you. So you can use all your tech vocab that you have and give us one example of this app. No, give us details and exemplify the details of your app that you are developing. Please.
Yeah, my app. Yeah, there's no like lot of options in my app. There are only two options. I'm working on the third option, and the third option is where I'm stuck, and I have the database of the app where there are some users, like the name of the account and the password, and I have the optional register to put new profiles on this database, and I have login when you already have the profile, and my I like check on the database if there is some profile that with the name you put, and they check the password too, and if it's all correct, the app will open. If it's not correct, you have to try again, and until your name till the name is correct, and until you get the correct name. But there is, yeah, that's it. Only this. I spent a lot of
Maybe
time doing this.
maybe Gustavo, it's useful if you compare with other apps that are already in the market that are your competitors. Who are your competitors?
My competitors are WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, um, Telegram, Snapchat. Yeah, I can't remember anything else.
Nice. If you app don't want to go down, it's better WhatsApp than WhatsApp.
It will be hard.
Very, very good. Thank
Nice,
you,
man.
Guga. And Ricardo, you're
Thank you.
mentioning that there are some open sources that you usually refer to in order to improve your knowledge. So what kind of suggestions you guys can give to all of us? I mean, share like figurinhas, as we usually say, to improve knowledge, especially for Gustavo, who is starting in this field, you know, to communities or something like this.
Before starting that, I have a small suggestion for Gustavo that maybe makes sense. Maybe if you think that makes sense for you, if you focus on your problem, because if you have to deal with authentication and authorization, it's something more hard to understand the first contact with some language. And maybe if you mock the process, what's mock is your fake that there are user already logged with login, with profile, and you start to do what you need to do, maybe you can run and validate your idea, because authentication is something that probably you use some framework or do by yourself to learn, but it's not your core business probably. So maybe if you reduce the scope that you are working on, make easier for you, because maybe you are dealing with a lot of problems with a lot of aspects. And another tip is to reduce the scope of what you need to fix it. I think that authorization and the authentication is something more advanced for the first context that you need to deal with. But it's just a suggestion.
That's the part that is already working. He's done the authentication and the login already.
Oh, okay. So
Uh,
I understand wrongly. Sorry.
No, thank you for the tip.
I think I usually do, but I stopped in a long time. It's I have a site code triage. I think is that they have a lot of open source projects, and I choose the projects what I know and I like, and just read the issues of opening for the projects, and read the code and try resolve. I never resolve on anyone, but I read to know what the people discuss about the problem and the resolution. And like Spring Boot it's an open source project, and they have 400 issues, and the people discuss about that issues, and you learn a lot of seeing the code and the discuss to know how the people think, and or how they resolve the problems for that project is global.
Mas there are a GitHub profile that they have a lot of projects. Build your own. So with a lot of language, maybe you can look for something that you think that you interested and try to just repeat on putting, for example, build a database in C language. So if you are learning Python, maybe you can see the code in Python and try to reproduce and you are learning two things, whatever. But there are a lot of projects that are projects with bots, blockchain, BitTorrent clients. So I think that the most important is you have a reference, because as you are learning, if you have a reference, maybe it became easier for you to understand the things.
Nice. I don't know that. I will put in favorites here.
Yeah, I have a suggestion too. Gustavo, what lib are you using in your project right now?
I didn't understand.
I know you have Python, but you have some libs in your project or something like that to create the authentication flow or generate the token, something like that. Or you...
Yeah, I was using threading and socket in Python.
Socket.io, something like that. Yeah.
Standard library.
Standard library. Yeah. My recommendation is something more simple. You have a small context to work. You can go read the documentation and the code of the Libya are you using. So in my case, I work with serverless framework or Spring Boot. So I gonna see how the Spring Boot, how is the code of the Spring Boot, or how is the code of the serverless framework, to understand how they create the code. It's more simple, it's in your context, and you can understand more about your context reading the libs that you are using right now. Okay. Or I don't know, you need to generate some code, you need to use algorithm to create the token. So go read the libs that do that.
Okay. I'm gonna try to read more about the libs I'm using. But I normally don't read, but I'm gonna try to read. Lincoln told me to read more, but I'm still only using the options.
I'm not saying that the path that you are following from Lincoln is not a good path. Yes, it's a good path, but there are a roadmap that is a figure that I will share with you on Python, what you should learn before to go to web, because I don't know if you know Python, how deep you know or not, but maybe this roadmap can drive you on what's missing or not. I will share with you too, and you make some kind of evaluation if it makes sense or not. Just a minute that I'm getting the link to share with you. What? Yeah. But this is it. There is no more tips.
Okay, thank you.
That's every day, man. At 18, you're gonna be a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, it's very good to hear what you guys think, because Gustavo, unfortunately, for most of his time, he has a person that is like very weird when it comes to learning. And I mean, the thing that we are talking about right now is like, I suggested him to take a read about queuing, because if you're doing networking, if you know threads and you know queuing, I think there's like most issues you find, you know why they exist, but it is so abstract, and it's very cool to hear. I think like, you know, the if I'm like understanding, like there should be more like practical stuff too, right? Because the theory is important, but the practice is important. So I think like struggling, just like, you know, literally looking at the problem for a bit, stressing out, like going somewhere else, coming back is like part of our dynamic. But like reading for me, at least, especially like the whole English thing, like once I felt comfortable reading in English, tech documentation, like write-ups about how programming languages work, I hope someone proves me wrong, but I haven't found many good sources in Portuguese. So it's also accessibility, right? Like being able to read something that will like make a difference in your mind. Most contents are written in English, unfortunately. So it doesn't make it easier.
That's why we have a lot of courses in Portuguese, man. The person reads the document and do a video with the document to translate or explain to Brazilian, you know. That's the problem. Yeah, the best documentation is the documentation of the library or the framework. Ours.
Or
Because
the
it's the
source,
prime,
like Ricardo
yeah,
said.
it's the primary source, you know. And
Yeah.
if you have some problem with understand something in the documentation, the framework or the library will have a community, so you can go to the chat and just copy and paste the
Yeah.
part of the text and you ask and you try to have a communication with them. This is a problem in Brazil because we don't have this step. We're gonna do some course, Lura, Kaelo, I don't know, YouTube channels to understand the lib or the framework.
How the people
Yeah.
say the 6 hours of the book saves you of 5 minutes to reading the documentation. Like the bug is like we just go step by step in the application to find the problem. When we just go to the documentation, you discover that.
If I can advise you, before to learn frameworks or tooling, it's very important to understand computing, because everything, any framework that you say, oh, you should use Rails because Rails is fast. Oh no, you should use Spring because Spring is awesome. But they all is running above the web. If you don't know web, if you don't know HTTP protocol, if you don't know what is a request or response, maybe you are became a user of frameworks. And this is very dangerous for you, because you are, if the framework just disappear, what is very common along of the years, you need to learn a new tool. If you know concepts, the curve usually is less painful than when you know concepts. For example, for people who know concepts, it's very similar to work with Java, Python, Go, whatever, because usually you know that it is all about the web. There is no another technology. For when your brother said learning about queuing threads, if you learn that in the concept, is the same in any language, because the system operation, Linux, Windows, whatever, they have threads, they have a process. So if you know what is a process, if you know, oh, what is a queue, you are discussing about data structure. If you know this is just another way to call in some context that is different, but the concept is the same, because usually when you are working with technology in the market, in the industry, we are using tools to make us more productive, to do more with less code. But the concepts are usually abstracted by frameworks, is what I try to recommend to you. Learn concepts before to learn tooling.
Wow. So guys, I love it. Thank you very much. We are reaching the end of our first meeting encounter. I don't know, we should do it again. I say first meeting because I'm positive that I'm going to have more moments like these, to connect, to share ideas. I think it's very rich when we have the chance to connect people like you guys, and someone as Luis Gustavo that is starting in the field, to share your knowledge and information as well. It's very rich. And especially here in Brazil, well, I can speak to my area. We do have groups and everything, but people are concerned, tend to hold back information. And this is not good, because the more we develop the community, the more knowledge that we have, the more information we share. I think it calls attention for yourself, not only for yourself, but for the area. More people are interested. More people look for that information and eventually hire services. So Luis Gustavo, I'm very suspicious to talk about him because I'm a big fan of him. And I really love when I see a young person like himself, willing for information and going after knowledge like him, and how fast he developed in the language. It's amazing. So I guess that this is it. We will talk about another meetings and see another topic, because we were very generic. We talked about everything here at this time. But I don't know, maybe you guys can suggest like a topic or a task or something for us to develop, or, think on how to improve the language, because this is the objective, improve English to apply for jobs and do better at what you already are doing. So I don't know, we can talk about it. And thank you very much, Lincoln, for, oh my God, what time is it there, man? I totally forgot that you were like 4 or 5 hours behind us.
That it's weird, but thanks to the current person that is presiding Brazil, I don't like to say his name, but we don't have the daily saving time anymore. So the distance shrink to like at least 1 hour, at most 2 hours. So it was just 7:30.
Okay.
The day saving light will be back. Yeah, just so you know.
So the only good thing has been like taken away from us. Okay, thanks.
Okay. So
it was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you all of you guys for trusting, and being available for this meeting and this encounter. Very precious.
Nice. Let's meeting again next month.
Yeah, I think it could be something monthly. Yeah.
It was very nice and for me, I received a lot of English foreign proposals. It's very, very motivating to listen to listen you and learning about how the job for foreign companies and practice the English too. It's a thing I don't have to. I don't do too much. It's good, man. I think we repeat that call.
Awesome. And congratulations for the job offers, huh, Ricardo?
Yeah. It's like in LinkedIn, it's normal.
Oh.
If you don't receive a
Okay.
lot of proposal, is because you configured the LinkedIn wrong.
Okay. Good to know. So I'm all wrong on LinkedIn.
Yeah, in IT is I have a friend, Silvio Malaquias and Lazaro. No, Silvio starts at a CTO, and one day, and another day he receives a proposal to be a CTO in another company, and he says at the recruiter, I have only 1 day of experience with, well, I CTO, the the recruiter. It's no problem.
What does
It's
that
okay.
what does that CTO stand for? Chief?
CTO, yeah, Chief Technology Officer.
Okay.
And the recruiter, no, it's okay. You is the person we looking for.
You have the profile.
You update your level in LinkedIn is for forever.
Okay. Awesome,
Your
guys.
level, not your position. Okay.
Sorry, Ricardo, for interrupting you. Go
No
ahead.
problem.
No, but yeah, LinkedIn is the platform, professional platform to be known and to know.
Yeah.
Cool. So once again, guys, thank you very much for your time, your attention. I wish you guys a great rest of week, and I do hope we can make it happen in another time next month. So let's talk about it.
Okay. Thank you.
See you later. Thank you. Bye bye.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you
Bye
guys.
bye. Nice to
Bye.
meet you
Bye.
too.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too. Bye bye.